Hello, 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 my name's Sam and you're watching my channel Sew That Sparkle with Sam, and today is my hashtag SewFrugal24 video. So I am day 28, so you have heard the rules a lot already if you have watched all of the other vloggers, and if you haven't, why not? Go check them out. So the challenge rules are, and here's the basics, you choose a free pattern. The pattern has to be free to everyone. You choose fabric from your stash. It has to be already in your stash. No new fabric. And you make a garment in the month of March. You still have time. You still have time. Not a lot of time, but a bit of time. And then on the 31st of March, you reveal your entry on Instagram. So that's basically, you take a picture of what you've made, you pop it on your story, not on a story, on a post on Instagram, and you tag in the two lovely ladies, that is Ruanne at the Yorkshire Sew Girl and Sam at Frugalissima. So hopefully this will all have come up by the magic of my editing technology on the screen. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do, folks. Simple as that. And you might win a prize. So why not have a go and see what happens? That's what I did last year and I won a prize. So, you know. So I thought really long and hard about what my Sew Frugal video was going to be, and I have got a few ideas for entries for my Sew Frugal, but I thought actually I'd just do a kind of choose 5 free patterns in a certain genre that I found really useful and I find useful as a free pattern. People will ask what I'm wearing is actually a free pattern. It is the Vera top by Forget Me Not Patterns, and if you haven't checked that out, free pattern, I severely suggest that you should, because it is a really lovely, easy to hack pattern. I use it all the time, and it's just great for an everyday top. So it doesn't take long to make either. So, you know, if you've got a bit of cotton jersey hanging around and you need a nice quick make, it might be one for your entry. But this video, I'm going to talk to you about robes, dressing gowns, house coats. What's the other word I've heard them being called? What did my mum used to call them? Can't quite remember. But yeah, basically something you can put on to cover yourself up in case of emergencies, or you just don't feel like getting dressed that day and you just want to put something on that covers your body, or something you can put on if you're a little bit, you know, chilly in the evenings. Yeah, always handy to have a robe. And robes are a fairly basic construction, so it tends to be quite, you know, simplistic pattern pieces. So when you're thinking of buying a pattern, sometimes I think it's not great value for money by spending a lot of money on a pattern that hasn't necessarily had to be designed that much. Now, don't get me wrong, some dressing gown patterns, some robe patterns are very much designed and are definitely worth buying, but generally a dressing gown doesn't have to be. So it's good to have a free pattern. You feel that you're getting proper value for money. The other thing about a robe is that you can basically make it out of any fabric you want and you'll get a different look. So you can make a linen robe, very swish. You can make a toweling robe, super cozy. You could make a fleece robe, extra super cozy. You could make a lovely silky viscose robe, you know, ooh la la. You could do a cotton robe. You could do a jersey robe, I guess. You can literally make it out of any fabric you like and you'll just get a different look. So for the Sew Frugal part of it, I'm thinking it's a really good way of using up those, you know, larger pieces of fabric. Now, the 5 patterns that I've found, they range from needing 1.5 meters of fabric to 4 meters of fabric. So as you can tell, you know, you can use smaller pieces of fabric for a robe, or you can use your big pieces of fabric, but you can pretty much use any fabrics you like. I have got one robe pattern that you can use French terry, so you can pretty much, double gauze is great, you can pretty much use your stash. So I'm going to go through the 5 patterns that I have found for robes. So the first one is a free pattern by Mood Society. So Mood Society, if you haven't had a look on the Mood website for free patterns, you definitely should, but I'm sure with everybody else that I've vlogged, you've definitely heard of Mood patterns. And they have a lovely robe pattern called the Fleur Robe, and that is a free sewing pattern that you can easily download. So it's a nice, easy, basic robe. Excuse me for looking down. I'm having to just kind of check on my notes, so apologies. It's a nice kind of basic, easy pattern. It's very easy fit because, you know, it'll fit most people, but there are pattern pieces and there are kind of sized pieces. It's not a one size fit all robe, which some of them are. Again, you can make this in a gorgeous simple linen. You can make it in a cozy French terry, comfy bamboo jersey, or you can go luxurious for a silky fabric. So, you know, you can pretty much make it in most fabrics. Now it says you need 3 to 4 yards. I've actually made this robe and I used 2.5 meters. So yeah, probably won't need quite as much, as I said, depending on your size. And then yeah, you can basically use any fabrics you like. So sizing wise, we are going from a bust of 32 to a bust of 58.2. So that's a fairly good, and I would say that, you know, you kind of just need to wrap it around your biggest part. So that's really, you need to think about what's the biggest part of you and go for that bust measurement. So yeah, and you create your neck binding in kind of long pieces. So if you wanted to, there's nothing stopping you using lots of different smaller pieces of fabric and just piecing those all together. In fact, it might look quite nice for something that's a bit different. Hopefully, while I'm chatting, the line drawings and the pictures of the robes will be coming up beside me. And if they don't, it means I've done a rubbish editing job. So pattern number 2 is from the Fabric Store, and it's the Relaxed Linen Robe. Now, all of the Fabric Store free patterns are made up in linen. All of their patterns are made up in linen. But there really isn't nothing, you know, there's nothing wrong with you making this up in another fabric. But it does suggest linen, and it is a lovely relaxed robe. Now this robe, it definitely gives me like spa robe vibes. So if you've ever been for a spa day, this is the kind of robe that they'll kind of kit you out in. So if you're wanting something that's, you know, gives you that feel, or if you want to make it as a gift, you know, want to give someone quite a luxurious kind of spa robe feel, then I think this is probably the robe for you. It is, as I said, it's a nice simple robe, and you need about 3 yards of fabric. Again, I think you'd probably get away with 2.5 meters. It says it's a beginner project, and it reckons it would take 3 to 4 hours. So definitely something you can make in a morning. So the sizes say extra small to large, but it does give you all of the pattern pieces with the sizes on it. So if you did need to make it larger or smaller, I think you could probably do that quite easily on the pattern pieces. It kind of shows you all of the sizes on them and exactly how they need to be cut out. So I think you could probably kind of change that if you needed to. But again, I think, you know, robes are fairly easy fit, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. The next robe pattern is a zero waist robe pattern, and it's by Elbe Textiles. So I love the idea of a zero waist pattern because, again, because it is just big rectangles, why shouldn't it be a zero waist? In fact, one that I have gone for in the end isn't necessarily a zero waist pattern, but I did end up not wasting very much fabric at all. So I think because of the size of the pieces, it does very much lend itself for that. So this one I really like. It's got a bit of a different style about it. It feels like a bit more relaxed. I think this one would be a very kind of non-gendered item. I mean most robes are anyone, but this one I think would definitely, you could gift this just as easily to a man as to a woman. And it has a really nice kind of like feel to it. Maybe a little bit more of a modern feel to it, which is, you know, if you fancy something different, because at the end of the day, a robe is a robe. They're all fairly similar, but this one has a bit of a nice style. So basically for this one, it is just instructions. It tells you what fabric you need in different lengths and widths of fabric, and then you just cut from there. So yeah, again, I think you can probably size it up or size it down quite easily if you need it to by following the instructions. So number 4 is the To Grow Robe. So this is a free pattern by Lindsay Ray, and this is a really lovely, fun kind of robe. Again, I think this one you could make in any fabric you like. And for this, it does give you different length options. So it gives you an option for a shorter robe and a longer robe. So if that's something that you would like and that you don't feel confident enough just kind of cutting off the pattern pieces, then this is a good one for you. It's a nice, fun robe. Again, great for gifts. Nice and easy to follow. The size for this is extra small to 7XL, which is an 8 to 28 in UK sizes. And this one does kind of show you how to size up. So again, if that's what you need, then that's a good one for you. So last is number 5, which is a no pattern dressing gown. So this is just an instruction, and this is from Sew magazine. Now the reason that I've included this one is I quite like the way that the Sew magazine set their kind of no patterns instructions out, and I find them nice and easy to follow. So some zero waste and some no pattern instructions I do sometimes find a bit confusing, but I find that the Sew magazine ones aren't, so I thought I would include this one in case anyone has got a bit lost like me before. So this is a lovely kind of, again, nice, simple, cozy vibe dressing gown. The nice thing that I like about this one is that if you have got a lot of scrap fabric left over, this one needs bias binding. So you can use all of your scrappy fabrics to make some really lovely, colourful bias binding. And you can even kind of use lots of different scrap fabrics to make the whole dressing gown. And you can, you know, kind of end up using a lot of kind of your scrappy fabrics and to make a quite stylish robe. And I quite like that idea. I think that could be quite a fun thing to do, and definitely is with the kind of frugal. Definitely goes with the so frugal vibe. So that's my 5 free robe patterns for my hashtag SoFrugal24. So don't forget to go and check everybody out. Now, yesterday was the lovely Mountain Accents and Unsocial. Today joining me is, Sequinal Lynn Sews. And tomorrow we have got Janine Sews and the lovely Mandy from Make It Sew. So don't forget to go and check all of those out, and all of the other vloggers too, because I definitely am inspired by So Frugal vlogs. I love them. So don't forget to sparkle. Take care. See you real soon. Bye for now.